Over the past few years, the horror genre has seen many new villains rise and fall, but very few have managed to leave a mark as terrifying and unforgettable as Art the Clown. What started as a small independent horror project quickly turned into one of the most shocking franchises in modern horror. From brutal kills to disturbing imagery, the Terrifier series has built a reputation for pushing boundaries further than most mainstream horror movies ever dare to go. And now, after the explosive reactions to Terrifier 2 and the anticipation surrounding Terrifier 3, fans around the world are already asking the next big question: will Terrifier 4 actually happen? And what could the future of this terrifying franchise look like? To understand where the series might go next, we first need to look at how it became such a massive horror phenomenon. The Terrifier franchise was created by filmmaker Damien Leone, who introduced audiences to Art the Clown as a silent, but incredibly disturbing killer. Unlike traditional horror villains who rely on dialogue or backstory, Art communicates almost entirely through body language, facial expressions, and twisted humor. This makes him even more unsettling because the audience never truly knows what he is thinking. His creepy smile, exaggerated gestures, and unpredictable behavior create a villain who feels both terrifying and strangely theatrical at the same time. When the first Terrifier movie was released, it quickly gained attention among hardcore horror fans. The film was made with a relatively small budget, but it delivered something many big studio horror movies had stopped doing. It shocked audiences. The violence was raw, the atmosphere was dark, and Art the Clown instantly became one of the most disturbing horror characters in recent memory. But it was the release of Terrifier 2 that truly transformed the franchise into a global phenomenon. Terrifier 2 surprised almost everyone in the film industry. Despite having a limited release and a modest budget, the movie became a huge success thanks to word of mouth and viral reactions online. Many viewers shared stories of how intense and brutal the film was, with some even claiming they had to look away during certain scenes. These reactions only made more people curious to see the movie for themselves. Suddenly, Art the Clown was no longer just a cult horror character. He had become a mainstream horror icon. This success naturally raised the stakes for the future of the franchise. With Terrifier 3 expanding the story even further, fans began wondering how many more chapters the series could continue. And according to creator Damien Leone, the story of Art the Clown may actually be building towards something much bigger than people expect. One of the most interesting aspects of the Terrifier series is that it slowly reveals more about the mysterious nature of Art the Clown. In the earlier films, he appears almost like a supernatural force of chaos, showing up without explanation and leaving destruction behind him. But as the story progresses, hints begin to appear suggesting that there may be something deeper and darker behind his existence. These clues have led many fans to believe that the franchise could eventually explore Art's true origins. If Terrifier 4 becomes a reality, it could finally answer some of the biggest questions that have been building throughout the series. Who, or what exactly, is Art the Clown? Is he purely human, or is there something supernatural controlling him? And why does he seem so obsessed with spreading terror wherever he goes? These mysteries have become a huge part of what keeps audiences invested in the story. Another important reason why a fourth movie seems likely is the growing popularity of the franchise. Horror audiences love characters that stand out from the crowd, and Art the Clown certainly does that. In a genre filled with masked killers and supernatural monsters, his silent, expressive personality makes him completely unique. Every time he appears on screen, viewers know they are about to witness something unpredictable. There is also the possibility that future Terrifier movies could expand the world of the series even further. So far, the films have mostly focused on a limited group of characters trying to survive Art's attacks. But if the franchise continues to grow, it could introduce new locations, new survivors, and even new threats connected to the mysterious forces surrounding Art the Clown. Of course, continuing a horror franchise always comes with challenges. The creators must find ways to keep the story fresh, while still delivering the shocking moments fans expect. If every movie simply repeats the same formula, audiences may eventually lose interest. This means the future of the Terrifier series will depend on whether the filmmakers can evolve the story while maintaining the disturbing atmosphere that made the original films so memorable. Fortunately, Damien Leone has already proven that he understands what fans love about the franchise. Instead of rushing to release new sequels too quickly, he has taken time to carefully develop each chapter of the story. This approach has helped the series grow naturally, allowing the characters and mythology to become more complex with every installment. Another factor that could shape the future of the franchise is the increasing recognition of Art the Clown as a modern horror icon. Just like characters such as Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, Art has started to develop a loyal fanbase that eagerly waits for each new appearance. When a horror villain reaches that level of popularity, studios often see long-term potential in continuing the story. If Terrifier 4 does happen, it might represent the next major evolution of the series. Instead of simply continuing the same storyline, the film could explore the deeper mythology surrounding Art the Clown and the strange supernatural elements hinted at in previous movies. This would allow the franchise to move beyond pure shock value and create a more layered horror experience. At the same time, fans will still expect the intense and brutal style that made the Terrifier movies famous. The balance between storytelling and shocking horror moments will likely play a huge role in determining how successful the next chapter becomes. For now, the future of the franchise remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the legend of Art the Clown is far from over. As long as audiences continue to be fascinated by his terrifying presence, there will always be demand for another chapter in the story. And if Terrifier 4 eventually arrives, it could deliver the most disturbing and ambitious installment in the entire franchise. Because in the twisted world of Terrifier, the nightmare never truly ends, it only waits for the next victim.